Hello patrons, and welcome to the monthly exclusive Patreon video. This for the month of May, which is always confusing because it's right now June, but this is for the month of May. This is coming at you a little bit late because these are supposed to come out on the 2nd of the month, and you are getting this on the 3rd of June. And the reason I know that is because I'm recording this on the 3rd of June. In my defense, it's barely the 3rd of June. It was the 2nd of June just a little bit ago, but now it's the 3rd of June. Even so, there's still a lot of good stuff to talk about. There's been a lot going on today. The reason this is coming at you so late, actually, is because there's crazy stuff going on today. But we've got stuff to talk about, so let's talk. First up, what happened in May? Memorable May happened, and there was a lot of good memorable moments that we got to put out. Even so, I've become very aware to the fact that over the last, I don't know how many, maybe last year, maybe year and a half, people have suggested less and less memorable moments, and I don't feel like it's necessarily because the content contains less moments. I think people are just commenting less as a whole, and that's kind of bad for the continuation of that series, and I also have very much realized that we are putting out memorable moments faster than we are getting them. It used to be that Memorable Moments was a 2-a-week series. Actually, a long time ago, it was, I think, just on Mondays. Then it went to Mondays and Wednesdays or Mondays and Thursdays, and then we eventually did it 4 days a week. And it's going to continue 4 days a week for, you know, the foreseeable future, but there will come a time when there won't be enough to put out, and it'll probably drop back down to 2 a week. I mean, that's just kind of the nature of the beast. I wish it could go on, 4 days a week forever, but realistically, it probably won't. That said, it was a pretty good Memorable May, and it was fun to put out moments. It was very difficult. It was a little trying between the appendectomy and the vacation to get memorable moments out every single day, but we did it, and I was happy about that. Friday Night Magic also returned with Amonkhet. It was special to me because it was a card release that I played physically, and then I got to do the videos on it. Things went okay. There's quite a few losses related to this set, but it was still fun to record, and it also makes me already very excited for the next Magic set that they release. Maybe I'll go for another physical release as well. Now, the big news is that Ocarina, Pikmin, and Fallout continued because they are all fairly long games, and they continued all through the month of May. And that is going to probably continue through June with one little change, but I'll talk about that in a second. And then the big news, I had an appendectomy. When I recorded last month's Patreon video, I had no idea what was about to befall me. It's been interesting editing some of the old vlogs as I continue to catch up, because my complaint is like, I've got this earache and I gotta go to the doctor. I really want to get better soon. And there's some comments that are like, if only you knew that you were about to have an organ removed. First off, I want to say thank you for all of the people that, gave me such an outpour of support. It was definitely like a fairly scary / traumatic time to have all of that pain and then go in and be like, oh yeah, you got to get this thing out. But I've recovered very, very well, and the fact that I was able to go to Arizona and be on a trip just a week after the surgery and do some hiking is just incredible. It was really cool. I also was very lucky that they caught the appendix before it ruptured. It was a situation where they got it, and they basically said of the thing, only the tip was starting to, I don't know what the word is, go bad or something.
Inflamed.
It'd be inflamed. So they were able to catch it fairly early. So the fact that I had these really terrible pains is kind of weird, I guess, but I'm glad that it happened because they were able to get it out early. If it would have exploded inside me, for one, that's real dangerous, but also I probably would not have went on the trip. So everything really worked out, given the circumstances, the best it could have possibly worked out. And if you're watching right now and you haven't heard any of that, yeah, my appendix went bad, and I had to go to the hospital, but those vlogs will be out really soon. Now, the next major thing that happened in May was that we went on this Arizona trip, and most of the stuff that we had talked about before did happen. We did a lot of the cool stuff. We saw the Grand Canyon, finally. We went to Lower Antelope Canyon, which was incredible. This beautiful, beautiful thing. It's hard to even explain. You kind of go underground a little bit, and there are these naturally forming caves. It's a canyon, but and you can see the sky, but it's very narrow, and the light comes in and just reflects off of the wall over and over and over again. It just makes this absolutely beautiful scenery. And that was a highlight of the trip. We got to see all these different overlooks and do a little hiking, etc. Now, unfortunately, one of the things that was a maybe that I was hoping that we'd get to see that we ended up not seeing was Zion. Zion was something that we had planned, or it was on the list of maybes that some of the other family members did, but we did not do. Just because our group, me, Mal, Mark, and Rhonda, came from one direction, and some of the other family came from another direction. We met in the middle, and they had already done that stuff, and we never went back up to do it, which was unfortunate, but at some point in the future we'll probably see it. So we didn't do Zion, and we didn't do Bryce Canyon, but we did do a lot of other cool stuff, and because I'm doing the Patreon video, I can actually show you just a quick little reel of awesome things that'll be out in the vlog soon. Is that awesome? Because that's like really awesome, right? Anyway, it's cool, and all of the footage is really beautiful. We saw some really incredible stuff. The sense of scale at the Grand Canyon is unparalleled. You feel tiny. There's not another place on Earth that I know of that you can stand in one spot, look all around you, and say, wow, this goes on forever. So it was a really cool experience. And as a little aside, I wanted to say thank you for all of the hiking tips, because that was something I asked for on the last video. And like I don't think I would have ever thought of like, oh, I should bring a hat. And because of that, I actually took a cowboy hat, and I wear a cowboy hat for pretty much all of those vlogs, which is just kind of a funny thing for me, because I never wear a hat, but I never wear a cowboy hat. So to see me in a cowboy hat is a little unusual, but it was fun. And then the final thing for May is that you may recall that Laura was pregnant again with their third kid for Justin and Laura, and that baby was born. and the baby's name is Joyanna, and we actually have not had a chance to meet her yet. But that means Sam has another sister, so it's Sam, Leah, and now Joyanna. And it's just cool that they had another member added to their family. All right, now let's talk about what's happening in June. Now, as I said before, the Let's Plays are going to continue because those are long games. Fallout obviously has plenty of time left. Pikmin is really only just getting started, and I'm realizing how long that game could potentially be. Ocarina is the weird one, because we just recorded some this evening, and we recorded 4 episodes, taking us to episode 40, and I don't think there's that much left. Like, we're really almost done. We've done, not to spoil anything, but we've done, like, all of the temples at this point, and we have, like, Gerudo Training Ground and the final thing. So there might be 4 episodes in there, maybe, but probably barely more than that. So there's a chance that Ocarina will continue through the month of June, but there's also a chance that it will end because there's just nothing left to do. So here's the plan. I really want Ocarina of Time to be replaced by The Walking Dead Season 3. That's always been the plan. But there's a bunch of other little games that I've also wanted to play, and I think that that might be a really good time to quickly insert one. We've done a bunch of things like that with Limbo, Inside, Firewatch, etc. So I'm thinking that maybe we'll do Ocarina of Time, we'll do a tiny LP, and then we'll get started on Walking Dead. Now, what that tiny LP will be, I don't know, but I'm kind of leaning toward Abzu. That's been a game that I've been interested in. It won a ton of awards. People kind of describe it as Journey, but underwater. And I liked Journey. Journey is another one of the games that was kind of a little tiny one that we did. So that could happen, and that could happen in the month of June, basically, because there's not that much Ocarina of Time left. Now, the plan for Pikmin 2 is to be replaced by Assassin's Creed 3, but I also might throw in another tiny Let's Play in there as well. And I'm actually kind of thinking of doing Outlaws. And that's been on the future LP list for a long time, and it's just this old computer game made by LucasArts, and I loved it as a kid. I don't think I ever actually beat it, but I got close, and I'd love to just revisit it. It's a really old, kind of like Doom-style first-person shooter, very classic first-person shooter, just set in the Wild West. And it has a lot of character, and it's really cool, and I don't think that it would do well on the channel, but I want to do it anyway. But it would be really short, so I might do that between Pikmin 2 and Assassin's Creed 3. Not sure. It wouldn't take long to do. And then also, as far as babies go, Nikki and Austin will be having their first child, Lily, who is going to be born in June. So 2 babies kind of back to back. And then finally, and this is not 100% certain, but we might be going to visit Alex and Haley in Birmingham in the month of June. If we do, it would be a very quick visit. We still have so much to accomplish here. It would be like a long weekend type thing, like 3 or 4 days. We would like to see them again, and certainly like to help visit them, you know, in their new place. But also, we have a lot of stuff to keep in mind here because there's a lot of stuff going on. But then also, we have a trip coming up in July, which is what I'm going to talk about next. We are 99% sure going to Wisconsin in July. We've been talking about it for the last few months. Last November, we got back to Wisconsin. Mao hadn't been to Wisconsin in like 3 years, and that was good. But we only visited Milwaukee during that time. Mao more or less really grew up in Appleton. That's where her mom is, and she hasn't been home to see like her mom in her mom's house in 3 years. So we really wanted to take a trip to Wisconsin to see Appleton and to see her mom and her mom's side of the family. So that's our chance to do it, is to go over the July 4th weekend. So we are going to be planning on visiting Appleton, Minneapolis to see Carly, and then Milwaukee to see her dad's side of the family again. It would be, you know, kind of a casual thing. We don't want it to take real long, like 7 to 10 days at the most. But it would be happening around July 4th weekend. Drive up to Wisconsin, you know, kind of take our time, see Chaz and Jeff on the way there, maybe the way back, maybe hit up some game stores that are interesting. visit family and then come back. But we want to make sure that we do it in closer to 7 days would be good. 10 days at the absolute max. We've just been away for 10 days, and it felt like it was a great vacation, but it felt like a long time. So I'm really anxious about saying, okay, now we're going to be gone for another 10 days. That said, it was really nice to be able to edit on the laptop, so that does make me feel a little bit better. The other thing that we've been talking about is that in August, we are doing ChefCon, and we're doing it here. And we have some more solid dates now. I think Chaz and Jeff said that they were planning on probably being here from the 19th to 27th. So that week is when we'll probably have most people come. But it'll be, probably about an entire week, which will be a lot of fun. In previous ChefCons, it seems like they've only lasted for about 5 days. This one's closer to about 8. And that's fine by me. It'll be cool to have everyone here, especially since Dan and Lindsay already live here. I also don't think we've announced this anywhere, but Nicole, who has appeared on the vlog just here and there, she was on the vlog with a snake, right? She has a python?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know if she still has the python. Presumably she does. She lives like in Colorado or something now, but she's going to be visiting in September, so that's happening. And then 2 other fairly big things. One is a new piece of merchandise. Steve, who works at Fangamer, good friend of mine, really wants Fangamer to put together some sort of merchandise for the channels. And we've been talking about it for a long time, brainstorming for a long time about what to do, and I think what we're going to do is a keychain. We have given out keychains at conventions in the past, but they've been plastic. They've been like engraved plastic that Justin created, and I hate to say that they're crappy, because they kind of are crappy, but they're a little nice, memento. This would be a legit keychain of Fangamer quality, and it would be metal with colors on it. So what we're probably going to do is the vlog logo. We'll do a little tiny vlog logo like you may have seen for the PAX keychains before, but this one would be metal, and it'd be in color, and it'd be really, really nice, and it would be sold through the Fangamer store. So if you have an interest in that, let me know, because we're talking about it, and it's something that we can do, and if people have an interest in it, we will probably proceed with it and try to make it happen, and I think that would be, really, really neat. Also, if you have any other ideas for merchandise we could sell through Fangamer, let me know. Obviously, the big thing they do is shirts, but the problem with doing shirts is that we already sell shirts, and I think that would be very confusing for viewers if, we have this one place to get shirts, but then this one special shirt you get through this other place, and I think that would be confusing. So if it was something like a keychain that we can't sell ourselves anyway, I think that would be okay. But basically, if you go to Fangamer's website and if there's anything there that they have, we could do something like that. Keychains are just something that Steve recommended because it has a very low cost of entry. Like, you don't have to buy a lot of keychains in order to sell them, whereas something like plushies, even though a vlog logo plushie would be awesome, requires a ridiculous amount of units to purchase. I think he said it was like 3,000. And I'll be honest, I don't think we could sell 3,000 vlog logo plushies, so that's probably out of the question. Now the final thing is, and this is pretty big, Lindsay really wants to go to New York City in December, and she really wants us to go. So right now, tentatively, we will be planning to go to New York City in December. Me, Mallory, Lindsay, and Dan. There's just various things that they want to see and do there. Various Broadway musicals or something they want to do. And Mal and I have never been to New York, so even though we'll probably freeze our butts off, I think that could be a really good time. Not to mention, there's some really cheap flights from Myrtle Beach to New York. And also, I looked up the Marriott deal that I can get through my mom, and it's really cheap. So it sounds like it'd be a super inexpensive, weekend trip. It would just be, a few days up there, but I think it'd be a lot of fun. So even though it'll probably be snowing and we'll probably be freezing. That could be really fun, and that would be, later this year in December. And that's it. That's it for this month. Once again, I apologize for this video coming to you late. Honestly, we ran into some bad recording problems earlier. I had an issue, and I still haven't completely solved it, but some sort of issue with the Elgato or the software or the computer, and I'm trying to figure out what it is exactly. But it put us behind a little bit, but we're getting there. We're also still getting back from vacation and trying to get back in the swing of things, but it's going pretty well. Vlogs are also coming along pretty well. We're only about a month and a half behind right now, and I've been catching up pretty quickly, I'd like to think. Obviously, the Arizona vlogs are going to take a little longer to produce, but I've looked over the footage a lot because I've been showing different people, different parts of it, and I think I'm really familiar with it, and it actually might help me cut it a little bit faster, so fingers crossed there. As always, thank you guys so much for the continued support. I try to make this very clear every month, but we could not do what we do without your support. It would be impossible. Especially lately with the YouTube revenue being all over the place. Patreon is absolutely vital, and we very much appreciate your support. And then, as always, if you have any questions or comments for this video on any of the subjects we talked about, leave them down on the Patreon page, and I will get back to you. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for supporting. And I will see you guys in the comments or on Discord or next month. One of the three.